Welcome to the Boardroom Chat. Today we are sitting down with Mutinta Musokotwane, one of Zambia's leading communicators, marketers, and just to know how she has evolved as a business leader. And so join us as we glean from her, as we learn what her experiences are in the Zambian business space. So Mutinta, welcome to the Boardroom Chat.
Thank you, Alfred. It's been a long time coming.
Too long. And here we are. And I'm quite excited because you have so evolved. Do you remember us in college though? Do you remember me in college?
I try not to. If you're moving forward, you have to leave space.
Okay, that's good.
So I delete certain things. They're somewhere in a drive somewhere.
We like that. No. Just don't go back there. But yeah, so the evolution of a business leader for me is the fact that you have come such a long way, and you've branded yourself as this person we now look up to. And because of that, I thought, you'd be such a wealth of information and resource of just how people evolve and become.
Yeah.
And you have become, you don't need to write a book about becoming. I'm sure you've already read that book. Yes, so Mutinta, who is Mutinta?
That's a tall order. That's a tall order. How long is the interview? 3 hours?
Well, we have enough time. We can come back.
Yeah. If you've seen on my WhatsApp,
right.
My name is Mutinta JM, and that means Mutinta, just Mutinta.
Right.
Yeah. So I know that a lot of people think it's maybe my initials.
Jane Musokotwane.
No, I don't even have an English name. Both my names are Zambian names. Yeah. But no, it means Mutinta, just Mutinta. So Mutinta is really at the core just a girl who has attained a level of success according to my definition of success, and it's not material or how far I've gone in my career. I would actually comfortably say I have self-actualized.
Wow.
Yeah. My success is internal. My inner peace, I have inner peace that you can't yes, like I have inner peace that you can't shake, and I have gotten to a level where I sincerely, genuinely let go and let God. I sincerely have gotten to a level where I can be still and know that He is God. And I sincerely, I live by the rule that not another person can make you happy.
Right.
And I've got to be one of the happiest people
I like that
I've ever met.
I came up with the statement. Well, I've been using this statement. I don't know if I came up with it. Sometimes we hear stuff and we think we came up with it. But anyway, it's be yourself. The world will adjust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's my story.
That's your story, right? Yeah. So be yourself, the world will adjust. And I think you have been yourself, and that's why you've been Mutinta.
I have.
All along.
Yeah.
And so that then is the evolution of where Mutinta becomes Mutinta and stays Mutinta.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes,
all in there. So career-wise, you have been everywhere. I've seen you as a judge on some talent show. Seen you working corporate jobs, very high up there.
Yeah.
Where are we now?
Right now, if we talk career-wise, right now, I've left formal employment.
Wow.
I was made redundant where I used to work. Apparently, my role is not required anymore. What an exciting time for me. What an exciting time for me.
Freedom.
I got this letter and I'm thinking, should I kiss this guy who's giving me, this letter? Because the corporate world can be a rat race. And as you were saying, be yourself, the world will adjust. The world sometimes struggles to adjust, especially to a strong personality like mine. But so career-wise, right now, I'm not formally employed, but I'm very excited for my future. There's so much that I've been dying to do, and I've not had the time.
But where have you been? I know the last one was in the finance. That too.
So in my career, I've worked in the entertainment industry. Built brands there. the Jordan, Katembulas, the Chatels, the Black
Goodness
Muntu,
me.
still very close to my heart,
Mhm.
up to this day. So I've been in the entertainment industry. I've worked in the finance sector. I've worked for 3 banks. My last job,
Yeah.
where I was made redundant, was a bank. I've worked in the mining industry. But over and beyond that, if we're going to look at...
You've done telecoms as well?
I've done telecoms for many years.
Uh-huh.
I did telecoms as well. But if we're not looking at formal employment career-wise, I'm into real estate. I'm into farming. And so you will find me in the piggery with my gumboots on.
Wow.
And you'll find me in the boardroom. Or you'll find me here with my nice pretty shoes. So trying to fit into everywhere and anywhere that you're called to fit in.
Quite versatile.
Yeah. I've also got a movement that I call All Girls Can.
All right.
It's a platform for women. We used to have events, but then COVID hit, so we don't have the events anymore. So primarily we do it on WhatsApp. But in the next couple of months, we're going to start the events again when it's not so cold anymore. But so All Girls Can is just a platform for women to have conversations that a lot of people might think are mundane, but are real to women. And just to let women know when we're having these conversations that you're really not the only one. You know, there's always somebody who's going through what you're going through or has gone through what you're going through. And if we start to have those conversations, then we can come together.
Is that you creating a network for women?
Not necessarily, to be honest. It's just allowing women to have conversations.
Right.
So if in the process we create a network, even better. But my primary objective was not to create a network. My primary objective was each conversation should touch at least somebody, even if it's
just one person,
and then that will give them the courage to live their lives to their fullest potential.
I like that. I know something that I would like to. So, who influences you? Who influenced you? You are Mutinta. I mean, for me, it's just, I know the way I say it. It's Mutinta. From way back, you know, we say Mutinta. It was Mutinta. On the school bus, it was Mutinta.
Don't bring that up. I already said I try not to remember.
Okay.
But that's because I do
in the present,
remember.
But then it's the fact that you have been consistent, to be honest. And that's a trait that is honorable. That's admirable.
Yeah.
You know, and so...
Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, it's who influenced you?
It's hard to say, to be honest. I think I've been influenced by many people, and I'm more cognizant of who influences me now that I'm older and I know what it is. But if I look back in my life, my parents influenced me a lot. My father influenced me. My father grew up in the village, you know, pulled himself by the bootstraps, became a teacher, and ended up holding all manner of positions in government then, and at some point was the youngest MP all the way from Musokotwane village, and ended up being Prime Minister of this country. And I firmly believe that if he didn't pass on at a young age, he would have probably been president of this country at some point. And he was such a good soul. So that influenced me. And he influenced me rather. And I remember also that as much as we were Prime Minister's kids, we were not allowed to be brats. And we went to the village all the time. A lot of times...
Speaking Tonga?
Tokale.
Oh, Tokale, sorry,
yes.
Tokale, yes.
A lot of times against our will, you know, and he would just love it, you know, saying, oh, you don't want to go, but you're going anyways. And he would have such a laugh when we throw tantrums. But I think that shaped who I am, you know, how I can fit into so many different environments and situations and so on. And my mother also is great, huge influence in my life, and was one of is one of my closest friends, still, my mom. But also my parents allowed me to be who I was.
Right.
And I remember I could have conversations with my parents if I didn't like, and then it was unheard of. I didn't realize it was unheard of. But if I didn't like something, I was able to tell my parents at a young age to say, but I don't like how you spoke to me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was allowed to express myself. And my parents would apologize, you know, if they felt that, you know, I was in order. If they didn't, they still like just sit down, you know, that kind of thing. But they influenced me greatly, my parents.
I like that you say that. So how does that then translate when you're in formal employment and you want to speak up, you know? And there's a young man that I met last week and was telling me how I do mentorship, and was telling me how when the boss asks him to do something and he hasn't done it in, say, 3 minutes, and the boss tries to show him up and says, look, whatever your name is, you haven't done this, and says, no, but boss, it's only been 3 minutes. And he says, you know, I'm built like that because this thing's supposed to be done in 10 minutes and he's asking me in 2 minutes. I'm like, no, boss, it's only. So did that help you do stuff like that when you're working?
No. Speaking up, to be honest, has caused me a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble because a lot of leaders will tell you, in the corporate world, they'll tell you, we want this culture where candid, and we want this culture.
A subservient kind of culture?
No, they what they tell you is they want a culture of candidness where you can have the tough conversations, and they'll have all these workshops to teach people to be candid. And I'm like, I'm not sitting in this workshop. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to give me a workshop. I can actually facilitate this workshop. But what I've realized is that it's a lot of lip service. A lot of peers, colleagues, leaders don't want to be told the truth. You know, they don't want people with an opinion. You know, so you find that they'll say that because that's what they're supposed to say at the podium. But the reality of it is that if you're going to give an opinion or, you know, then you become persona.
You just opened me up to something that I really love to talk about, Mutinta, is culture. Our culture does have an impact or a negative effect. Let me just be blatant about it. A negative effect in how organizations also evolve, isn't it? Yeah, because you find that because we have this thing of a younger person must respect. I think we must also define respect. You know, must respect an older person. So much that even when you're in an office, because somebody's a boss, you can't really speak up. They reprimand you. You can't, you know, come back and say, look, but boss, you were wrong. 1 + 1 was, you know,
was actually 3.
Yes,
not
there
the
you go.
2.
Not the 2.
To,
I broke the 1 into 2, and then I remained with the 1. Then you know, it gave me 3 pieces. So, what's your take on that? Culture and the workplace.
First of all, they say that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So I think organizations must really, really, really invest in a sincere, genuine desire to have the correct culture. And having said that, I'm not so sure if it's even the culture of somebody being older, but it's the culture of not being able to speak up as Zambians. I remember in a lot of my jobs, people have told me from the time I started, I worked in the travel industry as well.
Goodness.
Just remembered because my first job
from Mutinta for president, you're well rounded.
And construction and retail.
Goodness, you've done everything.
Well, not everything, but I'm heading there. Now I can do everything now that I have
the freedom.
My own, the freedom to So I think that it's our culture of not being able to face somebody and tell them the truth. You know, instead of telling you, Alfred, what I think, I would rather go and tell him, you know, Alfred, this and that and that. We don't have the culture of just being truthful and open and, you know, as a people, I think. I don't know if it's just as Zambians or it's Africa or whatever. But that is the culture, I think, that kills us more than the culture of respecting the elderly. We don't have a culture of openness and honesty, and it kills our corporate culture.
It does.
Because I should be able, if I'm hired as the expert, you know, I should be able to tell my CEO and have just a honest
That's why they hired you in the first place, isn't it?
Why are you paying me? You know what I mean? Like, don't pay me all this pots of money if all it is do this and I do it. Do
top
this
down,
and I
top
do
down.
it. You know, so you find that leaders create this culture where they become the emperor. You know, the emperor's new clothes. Nobody is able to tell you the truth. So you're sitting with your staff.
I think you're all good.
And everybody's just like, yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss. And it doesn't do you good because it's not you who knows everything. That's why you have all those
you've got
experts.
a team.
Your biggest job is to influence and motivate them to do better and reach higher heights, not to you know, like, do as I say kind of thing. So it kills a lot of leaders. So as much as they want to say that this is the culture we want to breed, they're not authentic or real enough or sincere enough in themselves to actually live that culture.
So where does this person get this information from in Zambia? Because I think we really have not progressed. I usually use the word we have not evolved, you know, because then we, like you say, it's all lip service. We'll go for workshops and we come back. Teams are not working as teams. You know, leaders are
still silos.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, leaders there in my corner office. I walk out, people keep quiet. They start laughing when they know the car's driven off. So then, how do we change the narrative? How do we change the culture? Maybe this is what you're going to be doing now that you are out here.
Maybe this is what I should be doing. Because I'm a firm believer in having the right culture. I've worked in many places and I have seen many cultures, and I'm going to say culture eats strategy for breakfast. But I think the culture of an organization starts at the top, because I've been in organizations where leadership has changed, and within a little bit, like literally a couple of months, the culture changes. So I believe that leadership culture starts from the leadership. It's not going to start from the bottom. But I think also it's in leaders knowing and accepting that and being very clear what culture they want to cultivate, and just stop the lip service, because people are not stupid.
How do we create an evolution and a revolution if leaders are not doing it? Can it be bottom up?
I suppose you can, but it's like you can start your car with the start button, or you can start it by pushing. So which is it? You know what I mean? So if it starts from you know what, like even in politics they say no political will and whatever. So if there's no political will at the top, it's very hard. It can start from the bottom, but it's very hard. And
because they're drivers of the strategy there, so that's the top, so you can't really push from the bottom.
You can, but it's like pushing a car to start. So which is it that you choose? So that's a great idea. Maybe
so
I could.
You will. I think you will. So I think it's this where we say the world is now open to you. You're a communicator. You're a marketer. Oyster it is. Just eat out. So how much networks have you established along the way, and do you rely on your networks?
I remember in 2 jobs ago, which is a few years ago, one of my colleagues needed something in the paper in their section, and the person who should have done it didn't. So they call me, and this is like almost 5, and they're like, if we don't have this in the paper tomorrow, we're screwed. I said, okay, give me a few minutes. So I made a few phone calls, and what they needed in the paper went. So the next day when it appeared in the paper, this colleague walks into my office and he says, everything's just a phone call away for you. And I had never really thought of it that way. And they do say your network is your net worth. And so I think it's at that time that that I was like, oh, it actually is. So I have a pretty good network, but sometimes I feel like, and I haven't experienced it, so I don't know, it's a theory I have, that when you are in employment, formal employment, sometimes you have those networks, but it's sometimes your office has that network. You know what I mean? So maybe if I'm calling off the street and saying this is Mutinta Musokotwane, and not heading it with title, I don't know. Maybe we can meet in a year.
It's a very good conversation, though, that I like to have. So
I'm yet to find out if I do have a network after all as an individual, or if it's my office.
So the position you carry, excuse me, the position you carry obviously carries influence, and people want to tap into that position because it's also an exchange place. You know, within the corporate world, it's somebody said your network is like a spider web. So once you're in the web, you can always reach out. You know, it's like not a lobster. What is it called? Tentacles. It's not a lobster. Octopus. Yeah, there you go. Tentacles. Yeah, so you can spread out like that. But when you're in isolation, it's a whole different ballgame. Now you like, no, I'm here. Reach out to me.
Hello. And they're like, I'll call you back.
I'll call you back.
So I don't know, but we can have another interview in the next year, and I'll test the theory.
Yeah, but then what would be our desired outcome, though? That network should still work, whether position or not. It's about what I can give out, isn't it? Because right now we've established Mutinta is a communicator. She's a marketer. She's good at tourism. You know, you are an all-rounded person.
Yeah.
So your position in an organization should not be what dictates somebody trying to draw or glean from you, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I think it's also about positioning yourself.
Yeah.
So it goes now to say, what is it that I want to do and how do I want to position myself, you know? Because whether you, in the workplace, you position yourself to get to the next promotion, next promotion, but now it's how do I position myself to tap into my networks and to still add value to my networks away from the titles and the office that I've held. But having said that, I've never wanted to be identified by a job. And I learned that early on in my career because people used to, wherever I worked, that would be my last name. So it would be Mutinta Soto. Mutinta. So I was like, okay. You know, I didn't want my brand as an individual to necessarily be overly attached to another brand because life evolves, you move. So, you know, a lot of people identified by their jobs. And the last many years, I didn't want to be identified by my job because that's not who I am.
At some point, I think I lost out on where you were because, like I say, you've been in this place, that place. So then I just know you as a Mutinta. Saying that, so you've personally branded yourself, basically.
I hope so.
I think you have. Coming from a marketing background. So how does personal branding help an individual?
I think it's like what we were saying. How do you position yourself that people should know your brand, what you stand up for, what you stand for, and what is it that you bring to the table? So it's through personal branding that happens. I think that a lot of people these days are personally branding themselves, but there's not much substance behind that.
I like that.
You know, there's not much value. It's just branding yourself a lot of times as an idiot, just to be known. My name is out there.
Yeah, being famous for being famous.
Being an idiot sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to run away from that outgrade. No, like...
It is what it is.
Yeah, some of the people getting the highest following on social media, it's like...
Oh my goodness.
It's like, so what do you stand for?
What's the plan?
Yeah.
What's the end game?
So it's valuable in that, even if you're in the corporate world, for example. I remember I worked, when I was in Telecoms, I worked with some people and then I left them there, moved to finance industry. In finance industry, moved to another organization. So one of them called me and says, Mutinta, how do you find jobs? I said, actually, I don't. Jobs find me. You know what I mean? So even if you are in the corporate world, you need to position yourself in such a way that when they have a position, it's you that they think about. Yeah, but also now that I have the freedom to be, so to speak, it's about how do I position myself, and when people have the consultancy or the projects that require my skills and experience. You know, it's like when you Google certain things, what comes to the top? You know what I mean? So I think it's valuable in that way.
So well branded, and all that. So a young person wants to leave employment.
They should.
They
Okay,
should.
no, wait. Just kidding. But I'll tell you a conversation I had with the contact center team on the day that I was leaving.
Right.
But go on, ask your question.
No, you can give me a conversation first, maybe just because I left employment, formal employment, and I had quite great opposition. I had a very good job, a good life. I traveled everywhere. But then when I said I was leaving, I remember some friends telling me, you know, we all wish we had the job.
Good
you know,
for you.
Yeah, you know. And at that moment, I was quite resolute, and I left, and no regrets, to be honest. So, at what point does one start planning for the exit?
Okay, so as I leave formal employment now, my primary objective is to grow my farm, because that's my retirement. That's what I can leave to my kids, and you will not leave a job for your kids.
Yeah.
And I know that there are people who work for so many years, and if it's a good enough organization, you walk away with millions. But why are you waiting? You know what I mean? Like, why are you waiting until then?
What's the wait? Yeah.
You know, so I was talking. The floor that I was on had a contact center. So a lot of young people, most of them working from home now, but there was a few that have been coming in. Yeah. And I used to sell them like tomato, vegetables from the farm.
The boss selling to, good. Right.
Just package them into my plastic bags, guys.
At their level.
Mugula.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so I told them, I said, you guys, we've been on this floor for a long time together. I thought I should tell you myself that, I received a redundancy letter, and tomorrow will be my last day. And, everybody wants to say, so I'm so sorry. It's like, don't cry for me, Argentina. So what I told these kids is a job will never be your retirement. I told them I'm very, very happy that this has happened, because it was going to happen anyways. It might have happened through a resignation. At least I knew from 2 years ago that I'm not going into 2022 in formal employment. And now a redundancy letter allows me a little package, which gives me, capital for my dreams, to fulfill my dreams. So they're like, no, but, you can be happy about it because you've set up your farm. It's like, how old are you? He says 22. I said, I'm 45. So, chapter 1, chapter 20. Yes. So you can't base yourself here. And I'm not saying don't be doing this, but all I'm saying is plan already. Start your hustle now. Your wealth will not come from your job. And I told them, I said, I started this farm 2 years ago. Had somebody told me, or maybe I should have just been wiser by myself, if I'd started 5-10 years ago,
where would you be now?
Exactly. But no regrets. Everything is always as it should be. But this is what I was telling the kids. I said, 22, you're nice and ripe. Start a hustle now. Start several hustles, because they say a millionaire has to have about 7 streams of income. Revenue. You know what I mean? So start now. Let this grow. Start again. Let this grow, and so on. So I would not be saying leave formal employment. If you can, you have a plan. Right. Leave. And also, people shouldn't be waiting for a packet of money, because at the end of the day, and this my husband taught me like many years ago, he said, if you're waiting for a case of 50 million kwacha at the time before you base, it's not going to happen. So, you need to start with what you have. So when you look at what you have, what can you start with? So after that conversation, it was a very, very nice and productive conversation I had with those kids. One of them came into my office, and he says, so I've been looking at graphic designing, he's been looking at, a PA system, he's been looking at money lending, and there was a fourth village. And we outlined what is a quick win, what he should start with, what does he need here. And within 30 minutes, we had this whole plan. And I'm saying, hold on to this, to this. And hustle, you've already got 4, revenue streams. So just keep growing on them. So that's my advice to young people. Start your hustle now. Start your hustle now.
I say that a person like you talk about streams of income, cast your bread upon many waters.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
after many
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
it will come back
Absolutely.
to you. You know,
Yeah.
so I always advise that. Now you talk about your husband having advised you. So how are you balancing your home office? Is that one of the happy moments that now I'm gonna go home and just be, you know, a wife and an entrepreneur, and just now I can run my show. You know, how was the homework balance when you're working the corporate sector?
I think when you're working the corporate sector and you're trying to go up the corporate ladder, you need serious support from your partner if you've got one. Because if they don't support you, you can't have your cake and eat it too, as they say. Though I've never understood why should I have cake if I can't eat it. But you need 100% support from your partner, because I remember I was promoted for a certain job when I was still in Telecoms, but the job was on the copper belt, and I had this young child, and married, and I literally wept, and I told my husband, I said, I'm not going. Like, how can we live apart and whatever? And he told me, he says, you have to go, because if you don't go, they'll just say, they'll pass you
To
up.
define you for that.
They'll pass you up for all other promotions. So, and he told me, he said, we'll make it work somehow. So I moved to the copper belt with our oldest, who was just a baby then. And that was the job that broke that level for me, from
that ceiling
that I could get into senior management. And for sure, like, we didn't spend more than 4 days apart. Either he was coming to the copper belt or I was coming to Lusaka. So for you to be able to balance, you need 100% support from your partner. And I remember there were certain jobs that I was called for, and I was scared. I was like, this job is too big for me. And he was like, are you crazy?
This is
You've done this, that. This job is not even big enough for you. Just go for the interview. And I'm like, so he most times actually believed in me more than I believed in myself. And became the wind beneath my wings, so to speak. So
why are you taking words from? I was about to say. I was waiting for you to finish that. Say, so the wind beneath your wings.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
So so to be able to balance, you need that support. I wouldn't have gone as far in the corporate world in my career as I did if I didn't have his 100% support and like number one cheerleader and fan. And but you also need a support system besides that. You have, obviously, as you are balancing, you're married, probably your kids are small. You know what I mean? If you have to travel, if you have to work late, if you have to, who's holding
covering up the
fort
spaces
here? So lucky for me, a lot of times my husband did, but also my mother did, my sisters did, and what's your house help like? What's your structure? There was a time I literally had 2 house helps just for the children. And obviously then another house help for whatever. But I used to pay 2 nannies. The second one was for just in case. Because there was no way at that time in my career I had the luxury to say, Mwana Dwa. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. But this event needs to happen, sort of thing. So I needed backup. There was no way I would have one nanny sick. And then I crumble. So I paid 2 nannies. I only needed one. Because I only had 2 kids.
You're quite a planner, aren't you?
So no. So I paid 2 nannies for a long time. That was when I moved to the copper belt, because when I was here, I had the support from my husband. He held fort when he could, and when I couldn't, rather, so, and like really, really hands-on dad, like antenatal from,
I know the new trick, send the men to the, what's it, under 5?
Yes.
Under 5, whatever it is, and then
they'll get
fast track.
No, but from like antenatal, like the
all the
nurses
way.
would even
Bless him.
like, these 2, and under 5, same. If a kid
Bless
is
him,
sick, he will, so that was important. But when I moved to the copper belt and he was here, I didn't have that support system there, so I needed to.
You created the.
I did. So so you have to put support in place to be able to
there's something that excites
balance.
me. Support. Chitenge na Gucci.
Yeah.
It's been buzzing. I'm waiting. I know maybe I'm more excited than you are. I don't know. Of course, it's your baby. But then I'm sitting and I'm thinking, Mutinta, don't give me. They said, Mutinta, I've been waiting, all these platforms.
Yeah.
But what is this Chitenge na Gucci? It's so, it's okay. Let me leave you to explain it.
So Chitenge na Gucci is right now it's just a radio show on Metro FM. But what is behind it is I was saying earlier that you can find me in the piggery or in the poultry. You find me at my farm in ripped jeans and gum boots and an army hat or whatever, and I'm at home. With my pigs. I don't even mind the smell. I tell my kids when they're like, "Oh, mommy, this smells." I said, "Yeah,
that's what feeds us."
Smell. This is the smell of money, my son. So just come in here with me. But so you find me there, and I'm right at home.
Right.
You find me in the boardroom with board members and top executives, and I'm right at home.
Yeah.
You find me at Soweto Market, and I'm right at home. And all I'm saying is, we shouldn't allow anyone to compartmentalize us and say this is who you are, because you can be so many things. And I think to be able to reach your fullest potential, to be self-actualized, you need to tap into all these things that you are. A lot of people say, until you find your purpose in life, you won't be happy. But that's not true, because I have so many purposes. My purpose here today, as I sit with you, is very different from my purpose when I get home to my kids.
In the next hour or 2 hours.
In the next hour or two. So tap into the, purposes evolve. My purpose as I created All Girls Can is very different from my purpose as I created Chitenge na Gucci, and was very different from my purpose as I worked at my job, was very different from my purpose, to my spouse, very different from my purpose to my kids, and so on. So if you allow someone to compartmentalize you, and that someone could be you, by
yourself,
the way. If you allow someone to compartmentalize you, you might not reach your fullest potential, and you might not even, get to a level where you're self-actualized. So Chitenge na Gucci just means, look, okay, first of all, I love the Chitenge, the rap. I've just left my Chitenge in the car, but I think it's so sexy. But we've been so socialized that unless you're wearing a short skirt and
then you cover Chitenge,
then you're not. You only wear Chitenge if you're like mopping the floor or whatever. But I wear Chitenge. I wear it to Pick and Pay, wherever. If I could have worn it to work, I would have. I think it's like such a sexy, and I don't mean Chitenge outfits like a dress or whatever.
Chitenge,
I just mean the wrap itself.
Chitenge is the wrap.
Just the wrap itself. But so you are so many things. Like mix it up and match it up and try this and try that. You will get to a point where you are self-actualized. You will get to a point where you've reached your full potential. You will get to a point where you are successful according to you, not according to another person. So that's what Chitenge na Gucci is about.
I'm excited about that.
Me too.
When are we having the channel for Chitenge and Gucci being launched?
So I have been doing every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Metro FM. And we've also been building content because I didn't want to open a YouTube channel and have like one video. So we've been building content through the weeks, through the months. So I would say maybe by August, then we'll have a full-fledged, because we've done photo shoots, we've done different videos.
It's good to go
home.
In August.
We've done videos in the studio. So I just want that by the time somebody goes to my channel, there's content for days.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure you're looking forward to that. So Chitenge na Gucci. I was gonna say Chitenge and Gucci. No. Let's make sure we say na Gucci.
Na Gucci.
And for the love of shoes, one of your pets.
Are we going to say this on camera?
No. We won't say this on camera, but I already said it. We're already on camera.
Okay,
for the love of shoes.
Shoes are my weakness. Shoes are my weakness. I was telling you earlier that I've spent obscene amounts of money on shoes, but shoes are my weakness. I love a beautiful, gorgeous, funky pair of shoes. Yeah.
We won't mention the brand names, but
No, we won't.
But if they pay me, I will mention. But yeah, the ones with the red sole.
Yes. No, but I don't like flat shoes unless they're gumboots at the farm, because I just think they're like so unattractive. Like a woman in heels. You know what I mean? Just like.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Step is directed by the shoes. Yeah, no, I've got a weakness for shoes.
So for me, that's why I wanted to meet you today and just have this chat, because Mutinta, you are a complete package when it comes to corporate, comes to you doing the empowerment for the girls and now doing the radio. And so I'm excited for your next phase, your next journey.
Me too.
And I hope we'll have another chat soon.
I hope so.
You don't be busy. Title.
I might actually be busier now.
Which is good.
Which is brilliant.
Which is good. We talked about purpose.
To it, yeah.
So maybe the next purpose, little purposes or many purposes, will be you being busy in different respects.
Yeah.
And I think for me is whenever you're doing something, as long as it impacts your life positively and impacts the lives of other people as well, then you're serving your purpose.
Yes.
And so for me, like I said, I've been waiting for this for the longest time, to sit down with you and just talk. We haven't even unpacked.
And it's just as well we waited. Imagine we did it last week. We wouldn't have been talking about the redundancy and encouraging people that it's not the end of the world. A lot of people, I was saying earlier that I learned that people don't listen to what you say, because a lot of people, you tell them, no, my role was made redundant. They're like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I'm not, And then they'll go into, just pray and believe in God. It's this is God already. Like, he realized my purpose was so much bigger than a title and a corporate role. Now I have more time for Chitenga. Now I have more time to, build the investment for my kids. I have more time for all girls can. I have more time to do all these really meaningful things, So people don't listen.
No, but they will listen. Like we said, be yourself. The world will adjust. So thanks, Mutinta, for your time.
You,
I'll be coming to your show. When are you at Metro FM?
Wednesdays, 5.
Maybe we should take this chat there.
I think so. Oh, that would be so awesome.
We should, eh?
I think we should.
We should, yeah.
Great.
Would they give us more time than we give on the boardroom chat?
Yes. No, I would love that. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, so thanks. I know you've got another appointment coming up. Busy lady who's just been redundant. Declared redundant at the former job. So thanks for having us in your homes, on your screen, with Mutinta Musokotwane. And so till the next time on the boardroom chat, this is Alfred Chirwa. Thank you.
Thank you so much.